Get in, nerds. We're playing Victoria 3. We are heading straight into the second Austrian Civil War, so let's get started with it. We're not heading straight in, but we're definitely on our way there. Just as a quick reminder, this is Radical Austria we're fighting against. They are... Or no, this is Austria we're fighting for. Radical Austria we're fighting against. They are the trade unions and the Petite Bourgeoisie. It seems to basically be down to internal politics. I'm going to go ahead and activate some conscripts here, just to make sure that we do this efficiently. So we'll put together a few in the French HQ, and a few in the Occitania HQ. I got about 200 battalions of conscripts going right now. Again, don't activate too many because I don't want to get into too big of a deficit. We're still working on proportional taxation. Sorry, it's a new session today, so I'm just getting myself reacquainted with that stuff. Okay, so Bohemia is the capital state. So once we take back Austria, we'll need to liberate Bohemia. So this might end up being a failure for our allies, but, you know, we'll see how it goes. Huh? Excuse me? Oh, right, yes. I had a colonial war down here that I forgot about. Yes, but my smaller armies will be up to deal with the Austrian situation in short order. Hopefully. Hopefully my little colonial war will be just fine. As you can see, our finances are starting to get worse and worse. Hannes Sulzer. Ah, there's our, that's the guy who probably started the war. This is another Prussia siding with Great Britain over... There's something happening in India. I'm not sure what's going on with that. So, dissenters break ranks. To outside observers, the Petite Bourgeoisie may appear to be firmly committed to the idea of proportional taxation. But behind this facade of unity, discord has long festered. Now a clique of dissenters have finally had enough and have officially broken with their fellow members over the issue of reform. For how long have we stood together? How many times have we lent a willing hand your way? Yet our own concerns are left unanswered, and our desires left unmet. If we shall not be heard here, we shall be so elsewhere. Splitters made that I will take them. This weakens the Petite Bourgeoisie, and it's going to give me a setback. Losing the purse strings, that's still going to give us a setback. So I'm going to offer them custodianship over new draft. This is going to slow down the thing and give me a setback, but it'll give me a 5% enactment chance, and that's worth it, since the other options are just as bad. Alright, we had a small victory here on the coast. We're having a victory here, a victory here. Beautiful. So we should... Excuse me? We seem to have a small additional front. So I'm going to go ahead and assign an army there. I don't know what's going on with that, but it is what it is. Okay, alright, seem good. How is the battle on the coast? Going very well, alright. It's very important to secure Dalmatia. Unfortunately, our enemies have broken into our allies' capital state, and our allies are losing on these auxiliary fronts here, so that's potentially a problem. My armies are finishing out this little colonial war here. Very good. That shouldn't be too much longer. I am hoping... This is like a tiny front, and I'm hoping it gets sorted out in good order. My armies are pretty superior technologically. We're still a little bit short on... Still have a little bit of a decaying penalty due to having recently changed our equipment type, so basically we're doing well. We're fully up to date. We've got siege artillery, we've got trench infantry. It's really never been a better time for me personally to be fighting a war in Victoria 3. Come on, let's go. The one thing we need to make sure is that our allies continue to hold in strength. Oh boy, they're in default now. Okay. How much debt do you have? 3.48. Well, that's not very much at all. Alright, I'm gonna bankroll them. Oh wow, that is not much. And, you know, that's really not much. That's about, it's almost nothing compared to my broader surplus. I'm gonna take on their debt. It's always nice to have your allies owe you a, it's always nice to have your allies owe you an obligation. Alright, we've closed out the separate fronts here. We're now all on one front, I believe. And how are things going in the south? They're going fine. So, I'm just gonna end this war. Grab some armies from the south. I'm basically bringing these troops in not to really twist the war any given way, but just to make sure that we don't wind up in a position where we are having our fronts go funny. So I'm bringing everyone in. I'll look into ways to fix things up with that that music player. Alright, so minus 433, lost 31% of battles, but they're 46.9% occupied now, whereas Radical Austria is only 1.58 war support per week, because they're only 8.4% occupied. We've got a lot of fighting to do. Oh, come on. Stalled. Gosh darn it. Oh, man. What happened with this? Well, I mean, I know what happened. We got a stall result, so we wound up in a situation where we're stalled. We're pressing forward on this main front. I really, really hope we can get to our allies before we end up in a situation where we can't really adequately support them. So, legislative failures. Despite many efforts on the part of the government to successfully revive proportional taxation from its present imbroglio, the law has become regarded as nothing but an inevitable failure. That bill, please don't talk to me about it. I would say it's better to just pretend it never happened. Don't you agree? Certainly, but that won't stop that fool from asking about it every day. Alright, so this is going to scrap all of our previous outcomes and put us back at 8% with an additional setback, which it is what it is. We seem to have developed another front somehow. So I'm just going to grab one of our armies here to put onto it. Not sure how this has happened. North Italian uprising. Oh my goodness. That's what's going on. There's an uprising happening against our enemies? Hold up. Hey, we got feminism. Excellent. Oh boy, hold up. Our fronts have gone silly. Our fronts have gone totally silly. Hold up. Oh boy. Alright, so let's grab a small army here. Grab a small army and put it here. And this front is at -4. We'll grab a not quite a small army and put that there. And where are our... the France Lombardy front? That's there. Okay. I think we're doing okay, but I'm not sure. This is a little bit of a silly situation going on over here. And there's aniline. Excellent. So now we can use synthetic refineries to produce our own to produce the good stuff. Put a few more battalions over here. We're still going to be winning, despite our blunder. And we have oil in East Sahara. Oh boy, we have another empty front. Where is the Croatia-Bohemia front? Hold on. We have a huge ratio there. Croatia-Bohemia front. Oh, here. Istria-South Tyrol front, but we have... Well, okay, things are getting very, very silly here. Is this the Croatia-Bohemia front? It is. Okay, wow, things are getting really, really confusing and silly over here. Croatia-Banat front. Okay, I'm not going to worry about those fronts over in Eastern... oh my gosh, again? Alright, well, I think Austria is going to lose this one. I don't think we're going to be able to get in control of... I don't think we're going to be able to get Austria back in control of the capital until... before this whole thing goes sideways. But, well, you know, we'll see. We have a number of fronts here. This is Lombardy, this North Italian uprising. Okay, alright. Well, yeah, we'll see how it goes. This war didn't end up going the way I thought it was going to. Bavaria is improving relations. How interesting. You know, it's a shame, because we have the advantage all along our front, but we just... It's not enough, but we weren't able to get there fast enough to really fix things up for our allies, and that's tragic. That's a tragedy. We still might be able to pull something out, but... Uh-oh. Temporary embarrassment. Ambitious middle strata citizens are opposing proportional taxation on the grounds that when they inevitably become wealthy capitalists, they will be excessively taxed. Why are you opposing the law, my friend? You're not rich. Not yet, but as soon as my next business venture takes off, I'll be a wealthy man. And when that happens, I surely would not want to be taxed so highly. In other words, this is Fry going, yeah, but when I become... But maybe one day I'll be rich, and if I do, people like me are going to have to watch out. So I can say they should be more realistic. This gets us increased expected standard of living for the middle class for 2 years and minus 10% enactment chance. Or we can sway them with a tax cut. This gives them 10% enactment chance and reduces our income tax rate by 10%. So, 2 arms. So our situation is as follows. Our tax situation. How much are we bringing in on income taxes? About $500,000 a week. Our income tax rate is 15%. So, if I reduce income tax rate by 10%, that will reduce revenue by about $300K per week, which is really, really a lot. So the question is, am I willing to tolerate this right now in exchange for... I've got a huge pile of cash in the bank, but we're still in referral. We have 2 setbacks. I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to abandon this. There's the election. Government is still legitimate, and could not be more so. If I pull the armed forces in, that could have helped with the whole tax reform thing, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay. So, our co-belligerent has defaulted, and various things have happened. So now Austria is being run. They are run entirely by the trade unions, basically, with a little bit of help from the Petite Bourgeoisie. They're working on graduated taxation. That's not necessarily a problem for me. We're going to go ahead and begin improving relations. You're in big debt as well, to the tune of 23.7 million. I'm not going to go on and take on that debt, but I will help you out. So the Second Austrian Civil War has ended once again with the rebels winning. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. How do we keep developing these undefended fronts? And at this point, we're helping the new Austria. Oh my goodness. Austria. Get it together. Oh man. I'm starting to think maybe Austria are not the best allies on Earth. They find themselves constantly in revolutions and in debt, and to be honest, I don't know how much that's good for me. With that having been said, our infamy is pretty low, so like it's a good time to get scrappy in other places. So I'm kind of glad we're not. Our enemy is in default. Well, excellent. Seeing as we're kind of carrying this war, at least a little bit. Let me see, how much is the North Italian Revolt losing per week? They're losing 8, so it won't be better for me to demobilize anything. So I'm going to go ahead and not do that. We finally gotten our next naval expansion working. This is going to be a big naval expansion. It's going to cost the government a lot of money, but it is what it is. Great Britain is attacking Congo. Oh, wish you wouldn't, Great Britain. Wish you wouldn't. Because I am so... Oh my god, I still have 1% success. Anfos Poliné has suddenly died while drafting legislation for the proportional taxation law. A human being is dead, the body is barely cold, and you speak of passing legislation. Can you not put politics aside so that we can mourn in peace? Let us mourn the loss of a great leader. This gives us 10% enactment chance. Or we should honor his dying wish. This reduces enactment chance. We can still potentially make it. I'll go up another 10%. With that having been said, though, there are definitely things that I could stand to not be worrying about with that whole business. So that's just kind of my take. Umbria. Radical Rome. That's a flag I haven't seen before. There's Faded Rose. Very interesting flag indeed. Alright, that's the end of the war. Booming oil industry. The expansion of the oil rigs in Niger has boosted confidence in the French Empire's future as an oil producer. If our ancestors had seen machines powered by a black flammable liquid bursting forth from the earth, they would surely have called our technological marvels the work of the devil. Thank God we live in such enlightened times. Get every drop from those wells. So, I should have checked on what that does. Oil boom. This one? We'll see. So, since we're at a really good point for fighting a war, I'm just going to kind of look at where things are, particularly with respect to Great Britain. So Great Britain still has skirmish infantry and shrapnel artillery. They're a solid tech level behind us in everything except for production methods for recovery rate. And how are they with... these are construction sectors. I want conscription centers. They're the same. And how are they in naval? They are the same as us, but with slightly less good naval doctrine methods. We've got the better naval doctrine, right? Yes, we do. Make sure we're subsidizing our railways. So, my thinking is that since we're ahead of them militarily, in terms of our technology, now is a good time to get fighting. They're also at pretty high infamy, so it's a good time to get fighting in the sense that, like, they don't have a lot of capacity to get allies right now. Do they have any defensive pacts? They don't. They have truces with Russia. Huh? Oh, it's flagging the wrong way. So this is the Sikh Empire, I think. This is probably somewhere in India. And this is one of these small African countries they just attacked. So, I'm going to explore targets. Okay, so we're already in a diplomatic play with them. I'm going to declare neutrality on that. Okay. 35 to grab whales, but how much? Why isn't it giving me the option? Oh, I don't have an interest declared in the North Sea. That's what's happening here. Alright. So, do that. Do this. Oh my goodness, I have a bunch of interests available. I'm just going to declare interests kind of everywhere until I run out. All the places where I could potentially want to get involved in world politics. And that concludes our interest declaring spree. So let's go ahead and unpause here and wait for, number one, for those interests to become active, and number two, for our big naval Austria. Is France gonna have to choke somebody? Hold on. How are there two Sardinias-Piedmont? Sardinia-Piedmonts? Sardinias-Piedmont? What is going on here? So, someone explain this to me. Somebody explain this to me. Explain it to me like I'm 7. Are they going to form... I thought these flags looked like they were similar. Are they going to form the Kingdom of Two Sardinia-Piedmonts? Please help. Bananas. Absolutely bananas. This is, alright, so there's all our interests activating. Just give this a second to sort itself out. Alright, perfect. So now, let's talk about Ireland. 22.5 to get Munster. 22.5 to get Leinster. 22.5 to get Connaught. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Connacht? I think Connacht. 35 to get Ulster. And if Ulster is incorporated? Yep, that's what happened. Okay, so... Gosh, the temptation is so very strong. If I do 22, if I grab 2 Irish states, I'll be in a situation where I'm... On the other hand, though, if instead I grab Quebec from Canada... Oh, that'll be 30. That'll be 30, but on the other hand, if I grab something directly from Great Britain, all their allies will fight as well. So I'm actually better off grabbing a chunk of Canada and then throwing Ireland on there as an additional war goal, I think. So I think that's going to be the play. So yeah. Yeah, we're doing it. Let's go. This might be a terrible idea, friends. We'll find out. But, that's happening. So, Great Britain is the target. Let's get everybody mobilized. We have dozens and dozens of small fronts. Do we have any small front generals? No, we don't. Alright, so, first we'll grab all of our smallest generals. And we'll just put them on these fronts where we've got, you know, a tiny space to deal with here. Oh, we've got a front in Africa. That's exciting. And let's take a look at our naval situation. Okay, we have... Whoever's running the North Africa HQ can get promoted. Sardinia, France, Sardinia, Italy, North Africa. Okay. Alright, so... Is this a front? No, that's Denmark. Okay, okay. So now... How much infamy are we at? We're at 33.9. If we add a war goal... I'm going to wait on adding a war goal right now immediately. We're going to see how... Okay, so they want Tahiti and for me to go to free trade, which I don't mind. Gambia front. Oh, yeah, well... Okay, so they're putting a proper force there. So we'll put a proper force there in turn. Go ahead with that. I want to keep someone who's Cyprian pretty good so that we can have someone to do our naval invasions with. Papal States is damaging relations. We have an agitator who wants autocracy. What an interesting turn of events. I really probably could have planned this a little better, but on the other hand, not so bad. Infertile grounds. Oh man, our authoritarian agitator has decided to settle down and not be involved anymore. Alright, well, enjoy that. There was an agitator briefly, but he's decided he doesn't wish to be agitated after all. She's going to put someone on that front. Is there another Indian Ocean Territory front I need to worry about? I guess not. So. Oh, wow. We just finished out our construction queue. So that's very good. I was going to say, our finances look disturbingly good right now. But that's why, because we're not building stuff. Let's just go ahead and do a quick round of government buildings. Even out some areas, put some government in areas that we don't have yet. Oh, right. I realized I had some tax waste due to low taxation capacity at the end of last time. So we're going to look at areas. So we have some in Burgundy, some in the French Low Countries, and some in Wallonia. So we'll get started there. Burgundy, where are you? Burgundy, you're like up here, right? My knowledge of French geography is not as good as I wish it were. Burgundy is here. We actually need quite a bit of additional taxation capacity here in Burgundy. We're at 422, yeah, 269. Alright, yeah, so let's go ahead and grab 10 levels here. Wallonia, we need, because I think we get 15 per level. So if we put 8 levels here, that'll provide us with 120. We're going to need 9. So we'll round it up to a nice even 10. Listen, we're currently building any... We don't have any government buildings here. Fine. Doing our nice even 10. French Low Countries, we need about 150 more, so let's give it another 10 government buildings. Alright, so that should be fine for now. And that's going to increase our overall revenue. So, how are things going here? We're still at 33.2 infamy. It's not going to go down anytime soon. So, at this point, no one is interested in being swayed. I'm going to go ahead and add a war goal. We're going to grab Munster. We're going to grab Munster. And that's going to be our primary target, and that's going to really put a dent in British power, I would say. Let's see. We're going a little buck wild here with this conquest, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see if we're able to do all the things we want to do. Do I have a guy on the way here? Yes, I do. Temporary embarrassment, again. I'm just going to do this again. This is one of those things that keeps happening with proportional taxation. It's not... in fact, I'm going to cancel this. Oh, the United States has chosen to align with Great Britain. Wish you hadn't have done that, America. Wish you hadn't have done that. But it is what it is. We'll have to tolerate it. Oh, there's a front here? Huh. I don't know what... Do I have territory here? I didn't even realize. That's curious. Well, anyway. I'm not too concerned about that. The United States has rivaled us. What a shame. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I've maybe bitten off more than I can chew, but I'm hoping I'll be able to do this without too much of a problem. Maybe I'll activate some conscripts in my... Activate the North African conscripts. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I don't think I'm going to be... My guy is... Rhine HQ. Okay, so he's not necessarily the guy who will be doing naval invasions if I do naval invasions. It's not necessarily in the HQ that will be doing naval invasions if I do naval invasions. Because conscripts play havoc with naval invasions in some really weird ways. Russia sides with Morocco in the play against Austria. That's fine. Austria wants to conquer Al Rif. I kind of want that territory, but we'll fight them for it later. Sadly, we cannot sway anybody at this point. Great Britain is still worried. They might back down. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. Having the technological superiority really, really helps. Do we have technological superiority over the United States? Yes, we do. 2 arms. Alright, so I think my first priority is going to be to push the USA out of the war. No, actually, my first priority is going to be to get a hold of some of the territory that I need. So, we're going to naval invade Quebec. And we're going to grab Cyprien. I need fleets raiding important locations. I'm just going to determine these locations kind of haphazardly here because it's Great Britain. They've got interests everywhere. All of my navies are essentially full still. So we'll continue working on this. I do not have the capacity to intervene in any of these other diplomatic plays right now, so I'm going to go ahead and not intervene in them. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. We're doing a big old naval invasion. Oh goodness, one of our fronts in Africa has come unmanned. No, you need to be down here at the main front. You need to be over here at the auxiliary front. We have a good solid advantage here. I kind of see this as its own kind of auxiliary front, but it is what it is. We've got a good fight happening here in the Caribbean. Very good. And there's our health system going up to level 3. Wonderful. And we are getting near to the point of being able to bring it up to level 4. That's just fine. Austria and Prussia have declared each other rivals again. That is their business. Let them enjoy it. We've sunk British convoys. That's good. We'll continue to do that as time goes on. Cool. Won a battle here. Probably going to lose a battle over here. But that's okay. How long until you get to Canada? 1 more week. Wonderful. Oh, this is so exciting. Oh my goodness. What is happening here? Can you folks please continue to have proper fronts? So he's going to be here. Very good. So that front should become a solely advancing front. You are going to go to here. Yes, you are. All right. Perfect. We still have the big advantage on the side of this front that matters. We're still advancing here in the Caribbean. Great Britain is losing strength faster than we are. We are successfully invading here. One of the Sardinias-Piedmont is improving relations. Austria has lost Slovakia now. Oh my goodness, Austria, you absolute fools. How can you possibly do this? Hostile Admiral sunk 6 convoys. I'm not necessarily worried about that. And here's our naval invasion. They've blundered. We are basically landing. Very good. So once this finishes out, I'm going to go ahead and bring one of our main generals over there to get engaged on the newly created front. Prussia's rivaling us. That's not a shocker. They've been on and off rivaling us the whole game. Show me how it looks. Perfect. And of course we have weird front nonsense. Why would we not have weird front nonsense? See, this is one of the real problems with the way this game is set up, is that now we've got an unmanned front because we can only land with 1 person, and we only have 1 front. So we're just gonna have this weird front pushing into Quebec for a while we bring other armies in here. It's not great. Francois Lignon has high attrition. Where? One of our 5 attrition fronts. Where are you currently? You're at the West Indies front. Well, that's okay. You'll be fine. It's not that large of a front. We're suffering from some convoy losses in the Gulf of Guinea. Alright. Your defending convoys going that way. I'm going to put this other fleet escorting convoys to here. This is the Gulf. This is the Eastern Caribbean. Atlantic Ocean. This is the Gulf of Guinea. So what you need is to be escorting convoys to the African front. Meanwhile, let's get some... Do we have any fronts where we got a small number of people? So if we could put 5 battalions in the Senegal HQ, that would actually be really beneficial for us. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll pull all of those barracks to the top. And this will give us a small army we can use to support secondary fronts in places where fronts have gotten funny, like here. Meanwhile, we still need to naval invade Munster. We're definitely winning here. This front is close to being closed out. I'm going to go ahead and move some of these characters off to these various fronts in North America. Again, we're just trying to get people to those fronts so that they can be not undefended. And otherwise, I think the time is coming for us to start activating some conscripts. So let's grab some of our 50 battalion zones in France and some in Occitania. Again, this will give us a real large boost over time, and that will help us do everything we need to do. What's your home HQ? This is De Coupe. You're from a South Germany HQ, which is Switzerland? Yeah. So if we activate conscripts in Switzerland, that will also help that front specifically. Alright, now we've got a bunch of armies on the way here. Again, this is just one of those weird situations where, like, because we only showed up with one army, and because these are not technically the same front, we're in a really strange situation. And we can't relocate off of this battle until the battle finishes, so this is just going to continue to be a problem. But we've got another 2 weeks. Let's move this guy over to fighting the Americans, because we've got to retake coast here, or we're going to have a problem. There's malaria prevention. So, joining the scramble for Africa, the French Empire's growing colonial empire in Africa, along with new means to prevent malaria, has made us a serious contender for colonial control of the continent. When I see this continent, I see a raw, unworked material from which anything could be carved. But as often when working with raw materials, mishaps are inevitable. Something breaks, blood is spilled. The French Empire isn't so squeamish as a little bit of blood get in the way of ambition, are we? Bring out the maps and strategies. So we're in the scramble for Africa now properly. This doesn't mean much for us right now, but I'm going to go ahead and get us colonizing all these other areas now that we can successfully colonize them. I'm also going to grab us a bit of territory in Southeast Asia now that we've got the capacity to colonize there. Maybe not the wisest plan, but good for now. Man, I wish this front would get itself closed out. So we hold this very thin, snaky territory here. But again, we've got a lot of generals on their way. Oh boy, that's just terrible. We've broken off into multiple fronts. Okay, so there's our main generals. Now we can put... Unfortunately, we're going to put him on this other front to make sure that we can continue to advance there. This front is probably going to close out. We need to make our way back to the ocean if we're going to be able to get supply. I think is a thing that happens. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and take this guy, and we'll naval invade DC with our large home army. I'm hoping that doesn't turn out to be a mistake. I'm really hoping to get that front cleaned out pretty soon. We're still continuing to advance the African front. The Caribbean front is going real slow. I wonder why that is. Probably should have put someone a little stronger on there. We keep winning battles, but I don't know. Got another tiny front over here in Central Africa that I'm just sort of allowing to not matter. Alright, so this should close out any minute now. And we'll send them to North America, and I think we'll send our main general to invade Ireland here. Alright, so we'll grab you. You're doing this splendid job raiding convoys, but we need to naval invade Ireland if this is going to work. So we're going to get you Henri d'Orléans. I'll put you in Ireland, and then we're going to put you on the main front. And again, this front is very silly, but I think we're still winning up here. Yep, we're winning here, we're winning here. Yeah, I think we're doing it. I think we're doing it. With that having been said, I've let this episode go pretty long at this point. So you'll have to wait till next time for the exciting conclusion of our war in Canada and Ireland. But for now, I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I'll see you all on the other side.